What's going on, guys? No checking in. Another video with author, counselor, and depression survivor Douglas Bloch, a continued part of the series we've been doing on this channel for a long time, where we talk about topics of mental health and mood recovery. Douglas, go ahead and say hi.
Hello, everybody.
Today we're going to talk about finding purpose and finding meaning in your life. Very, very important stuff. I'm looking forward to learning. I think you guys should be excited about it too, because this is good stuff. So, how does finding purpose and meaning help to heal from depression?
Well, when I wrote about my own depressive episode in the book Healing from Depression, I mentioned I not only had to find a way or how to stay alive, I needed to find a reason or a why to stay alive.
Sure.
I think Nietzsche said you can bear any how if you have a why. And this truth was observed most powerfully during World War II in the concentration camps of Auschwitz by the psychiatrist Viktor Frankl. He noticed that the people who survived the camps were not the youngest or the healthiest or the strongest. They were the ones who had some sort of purpose or reason to stay alive, something they wanted to do when they got out of the camps, and this sense of purpose and meaning allowed them to endure the pain and the brutality until they were liberated.
While I find the comparison to such an extreme and sad part of history, how would something like the concentration camps apply to the rest of us in modern time?
I mean, the concentration camps were certainly an extreme laboratory, so to speak.
Right.
But after the war, Viktor Frankl, who was a psychiatrist, went on to practice, continuous practice, and he noticed the same thing happened to people in life, that when they had a purpose and a meaning in their life, they were much more likely to feel better, and those who didn't, more likely succumb to depression.
Sure.
So if you don't have a purpose, if you have nothing to live for, no reason to get out of bed, you're more likely to be depressed and also not fight the depression once you've got it.
So that makes perfect sense.
This is why my clients tell me, Douglas, I need to find some reason to get out of bed in the morning. Otherwise, it's not worth it to endure this pain.
Sure.
So what could that reason be? It might be because you have a child and the child depends upon you, right?
Right.
It might be because you have something important you're trying to do. It might be because you want to be there for your kids. We already mentioned children. That's a big thing for a lot of people, right?
Sure.
But something to look forward to, something that will kind of take you beyond your own pain and mortality, something greater than yourself.
Something
to focus
greater
on.
than yourself. I like that.
Now, one of the people who I really admire, who I don't have the quote here, but I'm going to try to remember, Jane Goodall.
Sure.
Who made her name, by observing chimpanzees in the wild,
Right.
and going on to become quite famous for finding out, all of these characteristics they had that we didn't know.
Right.
She now travels 300 days a year.
Sure.
In her organization, Roots and Shoots. And what she is trying to do is raise environmental awareness
Okay.
the planet, lest we destroy ourselves. And she says, I'd much rather be in the preserve in Africa where I love my chimps, but I feel like, I have to do this. I have to travel constantly to get this message out. It's so important to me. That's what keeps me going.
Right. Give me
So
a purpose.
something that keeps you going. She has a sense of mission and purpose to get the word out there, and that's why she's still vibrant and strong, in her 70s.
What are some things that are meaningful to you? What gives you purpose in life?
Making these videos with you and basically running my groups and spreading my own message, such as Jane Goodall is doing for herself. And what about yourself? And what is, you've been through addiction, you've been through depression. What is that gets you out of bed in the morning? What is it that gives you meaning?
It's very similar to what gives you meaning and what gives you purpose. I think my world was very small prior to suffering my mood disorder, my clinical depression. I think coming out of it, it has really given me a sense of empathy for those that are suffering and a better understanding of how lost and alone those people feel. So for me, it's making the videos for my YouTube channel. It's reaching out to people in my local community, and it's trying to be more sensitive in general for others and see if I can help affect change in even one person. So it's basically just trying to support those that are afraid, alone, and struggling with their depression, anxiety, or what have you. So then, Doug, to break out of the interview format that we've been doing, and just to address the viewer, you guys, what would you tell those specifically that are watching this video? What do you want them to know and leave them with?
When you wake up in the morning, I want you to ask yourself these questions. How can I discover my unique talents and offer them to the world? What do I have to give? What is something that I have to give that's unique, that no one else can do? And when I get up in the morning, what makes me want to get out of bed and contribute something to the world? What is my purpose? What is my mission for being here? There's lots of ways to come to that, but work on some process that will help you get in touch with that, and then consciously write it out. Because if you have that in front of you, and if you know why you're here and what you're doing, it doesn't have to be something really great or something that makes you famous, but something even really, really simple. This will give your life the kind of meaning that you need to basically frame it in a way that depression is just like one part of the steps you're taking to really make the world a better place.
You can do something small when you are really depressed. In my experience, I didn't have to have a very large, far-fetched, and let's say intimidating goal in terms of finding meaning. I think you can find meaning in really small, basic ways that can still be profound, and then as you heal and as you get better, you can then create a larger goal, larger plan.
The former leader of EST, Werner Erhard, once said, if you have a problem, find a bigger problem. In other words,
if you have a problem, find a bigger problem.
Yeah, because by transcending your depression and focusing on something else that needs to be done, then your little issues don't encompass your whole world. There's something else that needs your attention that can really you can focus your energy on, and that can basically make the other problems of your own seem much smaller than when you're focusing on larger problems of other people or the world in some way.
Perfect. All right, thanks, Doug.
You're welcome.